Monte Carlo at Bristol. That's going to be a heck of a race. I might actually try and make the first part of that. It's first come, first serve. You'll find it in the hosted sessions. And we will continue to post about it every the next couple days. All right. Time for these boys to grid up. Up front, it's going to be Matt Stewart and Mason Neal, followed by Dakota Wilson and Derek Turner. Drew Warren and Anthony Stevens on the third row. Jason Wiley and Brian Burkhart on the fourth row. Sean Crooks and Eddie Baker rounding out the top 10. Superman Norman Chan in 11th. Eric Burkhalter is in 12th. DJ Kenner starts 13th. Brian DeBoss Mansfield is 14th. Andrew Spears is in 15th. Jim Cook is 16th. Kevin Martin 17th. Tyler Robertson is 18th. Christopher Rawlings is 19th. Justin Glover is starting in 20th. Right behind them in 21st is Cinderella Shriver, followed by Trevor Burge, Mike Killenbeck, and Brendan McLaughlin rounding out the field. Skylar Massey, Corey Stansel, and Graham Nucky rounding out the field. And Skylar does not get to start last. Sorry, buddy. You'll have to try harder or EOL yourself there, bud. And we've got cheering for the 55. We've got cheering going on for Dakota Wilson and Jason Wiley. Graham Nucky is not going to be able to race. He had a couple of appointments to take care of, so a little bit of a change up there at the last minute. But he will be back for the dirt. All right, one pace lap for these guys around the big 2-mile oval in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Then Barney the flagman will drop the green flag next time they come by. So, Dakota Wilson fans, he is starting in third. Jason Wiley starting back, where was he? There he is. He's starting back there in 8th. The 55 of Anthony Stevens is starting in 5th. And as always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, make sure you drop their name in the chat so we know who you're cheering for. Give them and you a shout out. "60 laps, they will have to stop at least." Doing some quick math here. I think they'll be able to do this on 3. If they really, really stretch it, a couple of guys might be able to do this on 2 stops, but cautions and everything else will come into play as they do. Pace car is about to drop off the track, and we are getting ready to go green flag racing from Michigan. Pace car is in. Barney's got the flag in hand. Green flag is in the air. Matt Stewart going to lead them down. Pretty even start there by the 2 lead cars. Mason Neal on the outside, Matt Stewart to the inside. Little bit of shuffling back there, but everybody's taking it a little easy. These tires get really loose coming off turn 2. On cold tires. We're looking through the pack to see if anybody has any problems. Here comes the boss, Brian Mansfield, in the 11 car. Already picked up 3 positions, and he's definitely not struggling with a loose handling race car. Started way further back than he intended to. He is our points leader. Everybody clears lap 1 without a problem. Back up front, Mason Neal has managed to open up a little bit of a lead over Derek Turner and Dakota Wilson now. Matt Stewart going backwards on the first lap. He is now back to 4th place. And I got to think Matt is probably playing it a little bit safe here, trying to save the tires. The 11 of Brian Mansfield, though, you heard him say he changed his steering ratio for qualifying. He really regretted it. He started back in 14th. He is now already up to 10th. He said he's going to be pushing early to get everything he can get, and he is going for 9th now. Boy, if I was Mason Neal, I would be a little bit worried about that blue car in the mirror. Of course, the 11 is the points leader coming into tonight. He's got a 12-point lead over Mason Neal. So Mason wants him to stay as far back as possible. Dakota Wilson now in third. Matt Stewart in fourth. Anthony Stevens is up to fifth. Brian Burkhart now up to sixth place. He was really struggling early in practice tonight. And, he gets a little bit of the wall. Drew Warren now in seventh. Brian Mansfield now up to eighth. Brian is just going through everybody. Let's take a ride with Brian as he goes off into turn number one. Right there on the back of Drew Warren. And you can see he's got a little bit of a gap after he gets around these two cars to get up there. But the way he's coming to the front right now, you got to wonder if he's saving anything in those tires or if he's just burning them up. You can hear him crying just a little bit when they go off in the turn as he is pushing that thing extremely hard. Drew Warren gets a little bit of the fence. That's going to allow Brian to get around him on the inside here. Brian's going to pick up another spot. Brian is on a mission, but he is not the only one. In 11th place, after starting in 18th, that is Tyler Robertson in the the car number shows 7 on the side, but in the ticker it is the number 24. That is Tyler Robertson there in the blue nose and black back end car, and he is starting to pick up a lot of positions, as well as Jim Cook, who has now brought the Pabst Blue Ribbon car from 16th to 9th. Jason Wiley on the start has dropped back about 5 positions. He's now back to 12th and looking through the field to see if anybody else is charging forward yet. A lot of guys have changed 1 or 2 positions, but we've got a few guys that are just on a mission here. Brian Mansfield definitely trying to get up there, score as many points as possible here. Dirt race will be up next. You are correct. We will have pro late models from Williams Grove. You're definitely going to want to watch that one. Every Williams Grove race they have put on that we've broadcast has been epic. Meanwhile, back up front, Mason Neal continues to lead. He has about a half a second, about 0.4 of a second over Derek Turner. Dakota Wilson is still holding on to third. Matt Stewart drifted back to fourth after starting at the front. Looks like he is starting to come on. I think I might have called that one where he spent the first few laps just saving his tires, not using the car up. And it looks like he has got a little bit more speed than everybody else up front at the moment. Anthony Stevens currently running in fifth. And he is coming around Brian Burkhart in sixth. And Brian Mansfield now looking to the inside of Burkhart after starting in 14th. Worked his way all the way up to 7th. No, Jacob, it is a league session. Jim Cook now up to 9th, and Tyler Robertson is charging forward as well. He is now up to 10th in that 7 car, or 24. And now Chris Shriver has picked up several positions. He started in 21st, and he is suddenly, last time I looked back at Chris, he had only picked up about 2 spots in the last few laps, though. He has picked up about 5 positions. He has jumped up to 14th, and he is making his way to the front, but he's got a battle on his hand. Andrew Spears right there behind him is starting to look like he wants to get back around Shriver. So we'll see if they can. Oh, Shriver is in the wall. He is way slow up in the wall. Everybody gets by cleanly. He gets back up to speed, but he got up in the wall and just got stuck there. Meanwhile, Mason Neal, 6/10 of a second now. Brian Burkhart and Brian Mansfield now battling for 5th place up here at the front, and they've got Dakota Wilson right there with them. And it looks like Mansfield's going to take 2 of them on this lap. Mansfield to the inside of Wilson now. Will he get the position? Dakota Wilson is being scored in 4th at the moment. At the line, Dakota's still in 4th, but I think Brian might have him once they get down into 1 and 2. 11 laps in. Now we know the pit window is somewhere between lap 15 and lap 20. If these guys can stretch to 20 laps, they only have to pit twice. However, if they stop around any time sooner than that, they will have to go do a 3-stop race. So you know some of these guys have taken it a little bit easy early on here, saved a little bit of fuel. And I'm beginning to wonder if Brian Mansfield has an extra 100 horsepower in that car. He is flying through the field. Jim Cook has been working his way up, now up to 8th. Tyler Robertson working his way up, still back in 11th, but picked up a lot of spots already. Killenbeck now on the move. He started in 23rd. He is now up to 15th. Chris Shriver, after getting into the wall on the front stretch, has drifted back to 20th, trying to recover with a little bit of speed, get a little bit of speed going again here. And Derek Turner has made a pass for the lead now. So mark Derek Turner leading his first lap of the night, getting those bonus points here. So we've had 3 leaders so far tonight. Derek Turner, Mason Neal, and Matt Stewart are the only 3 cars to have led so far tonight. And now Brian Mansfield up to 3rd. I think this is going to change. That top spot's going to change again. And Brian Burkhart is starting to charge forward as well. He's following Mansfield through. And before we get to the pit window, let's take a quick look and see where everybody is in the field. Derek Turner obviously leading right now. Mason Neal now in 2nd. Brian Mansfield is in 3rd. Brian Burkhart now up to 4th. Matt Stewart back to 5th. Dakota Wilson currently running 6th. Jim Cook up to 7th now. He's had a good charge as well. Eddie Baker, haven't talked to him about him yet tonight, but he has picked up a couple of spots for 8th place. Drew Warren is now back to 9th, and Jason Wiley is currently running in 10th. Tyler Robertson in 11th. DJ Kenner in 12th, but that changes really, really quick as he jumps up to 11th, putting Tyler Robertson back to 12th, and now 13th as Anthony Stevens comes by him. Looks like Tyler might be having some issues. Back in 14th is Sean Crooks. Mike Killenbeck is 15th at the moment. Superman Norman Chan, he was really fast last time they were here in these cars, but obviously struggling a little bit right now. He is back to 16th. Chris Rawlings back to 17th. Kevin Martin is currently in 18th. Trevor Burge back to 19th. And 20th is Justin Glover. And the 25 is coming to pit road. And the whole field is, or the back half of the field, I should say, about 12th on back has hit pit road. A little bit, a lap or two early, they won't be able to go the distance. They won't be able to 2-stop it from here. They will have to make 3 stops. Mason Neal currently still out front. Brian Mansfield on the charge still. And are they going to duck down for pit road? Mansfield is. Mansfield's slowing down. He is coming to pit road. So Burkhart and Neal both stay out, as does Eddie Baker, Jason Wiley. Tyler Robertson, Mike Killenbeck, and Superman Norman Chan all stay out one more time. We'll see if they pit this time by. Brian Burkhart now to the lead as Brendan McLaughlin comes to pit road. Brian Burkhart now in the lead, scoring his first laps led. Mason Neal, Eddie Baker, Mike Killenbeck, Tyler Robertson, and Superman Norman Chan have not pitted. And we heard some of the drivers say, and this is kind of an unusual situation, at least at this track, that the tires were going to wear out before they ran out of fuel, but it looks like some of these guys have got a handle on it. Does sound like Burkhart might be slowing down just a little bit here at lap 18. I know the 16's diving down and the 18's diving down. That is going to leave, let's see. Oh, the 16 spins getting onto pit road. And it does look like every lead lap car is now coming or has been to pit road. And I do believe the lead will cycle around to Derek Turner here momentarily. Yes, Derek Turner gets, he did not lead at the line, but he will lead next time by, so he'll get those bonus points as well here tonight. Matt Stewart now back up in second place. Brian Mansfield still in third after the pit stop. Drew Warren now up to fourth. DJ Kenner has snuck his way up here. He is now up in fifth. We saw him charging, coming on very strong late in that run, and he has now put himself after the pit stop in fifth place. Jason Wiley has worked his way back up into sixth. Dakota Wilson now seventh. Jim Cook eighth. Brian Burkhart ninth. And Chris Rawlings has made his way into the top 10. Derek Turner does get his lap led. He'll get the bonus points for that. We're a third of the way through this. Already been through our first round of green flag pit stops. They do run a lighter fuel load, about 40 to 45% depending on the track, just to add a strategy factor into these races. And it does make things very interesting and can change the entire look of the race in a moment's notice if somebody stretches their fuel further or if somebody short pits. Brian Mansfield back up here battling for third place, or battling for second place with Matt Stewart, and we saw Mansfield come through the field extremely quickly on that first run. Here he is. He is starting to look for second place from Matt Stewart now. Brian Mansfield is the points leader coming into tonight. Mason Neal was second in points, and he is currently running back in 12th. So this is the kind of run Mansfield really needs right now to change the points race up a bit. DJ Kenner has worked his way up. He started in 13th. He had drifted back a little bit on the start, but late in the run, he was charging to the front. Really good pit stop, now up to 5th place. Dakota Wilson started up on the second row in 3rd place. He is now back to 7th, trying to work his way back up. Brian Burkhart, Jim Cook right behind him, though. And Chris Rawlings is back there in 10th at the moment. He has picked up 9 spots since the start of the race. And the sun is coming back out over the track. That'll heat the track up and make the tires just a little more slippery. Might see if it's an overcast day, so we'll probably just see a little bit of sun here and there, but if we see a lot of it, these guys could start slipping and sliding all over the track as the track temperature goes up. Derek Turner now passing a lap car. I do believe that is the 96 of Skylar Massey going one lap down. He's going to be, if they get a caution, he is currently in position to get a lucky dog here. He is the only car showing a lap down at the moment. And Brian Mansfield continues his march to the front, now up into second place. Matt Stewart in third, and you see this field is starting to spread out more and more every single lap. Now we've got from first place back to third place a little over 2 seconds, and then another 2.5 seconds back to fourth place, Drew Warren. DJ Kenner and Jason Wiley right there with them, though. And as these guys spread out, we are less and less likely to have a caution. Brian Burkhart currently running in 7th. Let's see. Chris Rawlings lost a position. He has slipped back to 11th. And Mike Killenbeck, who started back in 23rd, is now up to 13th and making his way forward. He picked up a couple positions on the track before he made his pit stop, stretched the fuel one lap longer than pretty much everybody in his group, and managed to capitalize on that, pick up a couple of spots, and has worked his way up to 13th now. Superman Norman Chan now back in 14th. Eddie Baker now drops back to about 15th. Tyler Robertson currently running in 16th. He was making his way to the front pretty quickly earlier. It looks like he is stalled after that pit stop. Chris Shriver, after hitting the wall earlier, now back to 19th place. Justin Glover, the first one to come down pit road, he is currently in 21st. And back up front, the gap has closed between first and second. Brian Mansfield just on a mission here tonight. He is in second. He is exactly half a second at the moment behind the leader, and that gap is closing. Looking at their lap times, the last few laps, Brian Mansfield has been 1/10 of a second faster every lap, and now he is within draft range, so he's going to gain a lot on Derek Turner here. The question is going to be, how long can Derek Turner hold him off? Matt Stewart back in third is losing ground to the top two. And Brian Burkhart has more or less stalled at about 6 seconds back from the leader. And he's got DJ Kenner and Drew Warren right there behind him, as well as Jason Wiley. And Dakota Wilson now back up to 8th. And Jim Cook is lurking. He's picked up 7 spots since the onset of the race and is now making his way up towards the front very, very quickly. And in about another 5 laps, we'll start seeing green flag pit stops yet again. Some of the guys that stopped extremely early will have to come back to the front. Jim Johnson, we are hating that you are missing this race too, buddy. Andrew Spears currently running in 23rd, battling with Kevin Martin. I think Andrew's about to take 22nd. He was up at the front. He was in the top 10 earlier in the race. He had charged his way up to the front, and now has just kind of drifted back quite a bit. And now he's going to go in for his second pit stop, it looks like. Now we're seeing a lot of guys hitting that second pit stop. Derek Turner's on pit road. Brian Burkhart, Drew Warren, Brian Mansfield. Brian Mansfield? Brian Mansfield had stretched on that first stop. He had stayed out longer than Stewart and everybody else. He comes in at the same time as those guys. Bit of a surprise there. Now Matt Stewart's going to come to pit road. DJ Kenner's coming to pit road. Jason Wiley will assume the lead with Dakota Wilson behind him. That'll give him a few bonus points. Jason Wiley moving up the track. He might be letting Dakota by. No, he's still battling there in the middle of the track as we've got cars coming back up off pit road now. Jason Wiley getting his first laps led of the race. This might actually be his first laps led in the league. And he is going to duck down and come to pit road. Dakota Wilson's going to come with him. That'll give the lead back up to Mike Killenbeck, who has not led yet tonight. But yes, he gets that point. He gets credit for leading a lap. So he gets a few bonus points here. Mason Neal back there in second. He needs to stay out just a little bit longer. Let Killenbeck go in so he can get some bonus points and try and make up a little ground in the points on Brian Mansfield. Excuse me. Brian Mansfield came into tonight with a 12-point lead over Mason Neal, and if he continues like he has so far tonight, I think he can. There'll be 4 races left after tonight, and he will have a pretty decent lead. Mason Neal does get credit for leading that lap, it looks like. Looked like Killenbeck may have actually slowed down a little bit. Hopefully he is not out of gas. He looks way down on power as those 3 cars. I think the 7 car has been to pit road, but the other 2, Killenbeck is not and Mason Neal is not. And looks like Killenbeck will come to pit road. No, he is. He's going to stretch it one more lap. Mason Neal's going to stretch it one more lap. Some of these guys could stretch it to lap 36, 37 if they wanted to. Now Tyler Robertson there gets scored as the leader. So he gets a couple of bonus points here. Just waiting for the pit stops to cycle through and see who's back up front right now. Derek Turner, the last car to have not pitted is Trevor Burge, currently in 6th. Derek Turner is currently running in 7th. Brian Mansfield is running in 8th, but it looks like they are about to swap positions, and once the guys at the front pit, it'll put whichever one of them is in front at the time, that'll be the one going to the lead as Mansfield gets right to the back bumper. Eric Burkhalter and Trevor Burge both pitting. That leaves 4 cars out that have not pitted yet. Tyler Robertson has not pitted, Mason Neal, Mike Killenbeck, and Eddie Baker. Eddie's way back there. There's Eddie. And let's see if Tyler and Mason pit this time by. Tyler does not. Mason does not, so they are stretching that fuel. They're trying to get a fuel strategy play here. 24 laps to go, though. They would have to stretch at least another 4 laps to be able to go the distance on fuel from this stop and not have to stop a 3rd time. However, if the caution came out, that would put them in really good shape, as right now we're down to 16 cars on the lead lap. Waiting to see if these 2 are going to come this time by. Nope, both stay out. Eddie Baker is picking up a little bit of ground there. Trying to catch back up to these guys. And you can see the difference in speed between the fresh tires of those guys that are coming around him versus the old tires that he's been out there on. Meanwhile, right behind him, Derek Turner and Brian Mansfield continue to battle for first and second. And it looked briefly like Brian could have passed Derek at any time. I'm wondering if he's holding back for just a little bit longer. Mason Neal finally comes to pit road. Tyler Robertson finally comes to pit road. Eddie Baker is coming to pit road. The lead will go back to Derek Turner with 23 laps to go. They will have to make one more pit stop. And they have to plan this one out really well, because if they stop too soon, they will use up their tires, their last set of tires. But if they stop too late, they won't be able to take advantage of the fresher tires. So now it is Derek Turner back to the lead. Brian Mansfield to second. Brian Burkhart now in third. Matt Stewart back to fourth. DJ Kenner continues to work his way forward. He's up to fifth. Drew Warren is in sixth. Jason Wiley is seventh. Dakota Wilson is in eighth. Jim Cook is ninth. And Chris Rawlings is currently running in 10th. Then you've got Anthony Stevens in 11th. Superman Norman Chan is back to 12th. Sean Crooks is 13th. Mike Killenbeck is now in 14th. Mason Neal is back to 15th after stretching his fuel mileage just a bit. Looks like he lost a little bit of time on those guys with fresher tires. 16th is Chris Shriver. Andrew Spears is 17th. Eric Burkhalter is 18th. Justin Glover is back up in 19th. Trevor Burge is up to 20th. Eddie Baker is 21st. 22nd is Tyler Robertson. Skylar Massey back into 23rd. Kevin Martin is 24th, and he is the first car one lap down. Brendan McLaughlin is in 25th. And there was a bit of a battle going on up here right behind Chris Shriver. You got Eric Burkhalter, Andrew Spears, Justin Glover, all right there in a three-car pack. They were pretty close just a few minutes ago. Looks like they're settling down just a little bit. And Derek Turner, Brian Mansfield seems to have taken it down just a notch here. Of course, as soon as I say that, Brian Mansfield looking to the inside. Will he go for the lead here? Brian Mansfield makes the move past him on the inside, down the back straightaway. Comes up a little bit in turn 3 and takes the lead coming off of turn 4. He is secure in that top spot. Now let's see, will he be able to run away from Derek Turner is the question. He's ran away from everybody else here tonight. We'll see if Mansfield can work his way up. Derek Turner is in second. Burkhart is in third, 5 seconds behind that battle. Matt Stewart is in fourth. DJ Kenner is in fifth. Jason Wiley is sixth. Drew Warren is in seventh. Now these two are battling for sixth place right now. Drew Warren up on the high side. Wiley on the low side. Dakota Wilson right behind him. And the outside line prevails, as it often does here. That momentum coming off the high side tends to be the better way around. Coming off turn 4, though, Jason Wiley trying to look back to the inside as Dakota Wilson starts looking to the outside of Drew Warren. Doesn't have enough room there, and he's got Wiley below him, so he can't do anything at the moment. Now he's going to stick the nose in on the outside. They're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Dakota wisely backs off for a moment. Looks like he might have caught a piece of the wall there. He did. He caught just a little bit of the wall. It was just enough to let those two get back by. And now we've got guys in the lead pack coming to pit road. Brian Burkhart, Matt Stewart, DJ Kenner. They are coming in for their final stops. 16 laps to go. They can go the distance from here, but we'll have to see how long these guys try and stretch that tire and see if they can make it. Looking at some lap times, the fast laps are in 40 seconds. These guys have already lost on their last laps, they've lost about a full second off their lap times as second place Derek Turner comes to pit road. They have lost about a second on their fastest times here since they came out of pit road last time, so they're definitely slowing down, but stretching those tires just a little bit longer. When you put that last set on, you'll have a better set for longer. This might just be a really smart strategy play by Brian Mansfield here. Dakota Wilson stays out, now up to second. Jason Wiley is in third. Jim Cook up to fourth. Anthony Stevens now up to fifth. Chris Rawlings takes sixth. Superman Norman Chan now up to seventh. Mike Killenbeck up to eighth. Sean Crooks is ninth, and Eric Burkhalter is 10th. Chris Shriver in 11th. Now Brian Mansfield has given up the lead to come to pit road. He has a 14-second lead. And Dakota Wilson, Jason Wiley come to pit road. Jim Cook is coming to pit road. Chris Rawlings stays out. Final pit stops going on. 14 laps to go. Chris Rawlings now in the lead. Superman Norman Chan in second. Mike Killenbeck is in third. Sean Crooks in fourth. These guys have not pitted yet for their final stop. Eric Burkhalter is now up to fifth. Chris Shriver now up to sixth. And if the caution were to come out right now, that'd put these guys in a really, really good position. Justin Glover now up to 7th place. He is staying out, so we've got several guys that are staying out, at least for the moment. Eric Burkhalter now comes to pit road. Chris Rawlings still out there. I promise you, Chris has his fingers crossed that this thing gets a caution just at the right time when he can trap some cars a lap down. And now Chris Rawlings is going to give it up, comes to pit road. That'll give the lead to Superman Norman Chan. Rawlings, Skylar Massey has a problem getting off the track. Looks like Skylar just did not get down soon enough. He gets to the brakes and hits the inside wall, spins it around. He'll get repaired and get back out, but definitely not the way you want to enter pit road, and he'll probably receive a black flag for that. Meanwhile, Norman Chan now up to the lead. You got Killenbeck in second for the moment. Sean Crooks in third. Chris Shriver now up to fourth. Justin Glover now up to fifth. Norman Chan comes to pit road. That's going to give Killenbeck the lead. Sean Crooks now in second. Chris Shriver has come to pit road. Now Brian Burkhart is back up in third. And he's got Brian Mansfield right behind him with... After these pit stops completely cycle through, that'll give Burkhart the lead, and Brian Mansfield will have second. And I don't think that Burkhart's going to be able to hold Mansfield off for very long. They have 10 laps to go here, and it is the Brian and Brian show. Mike Killenbeck is the only car left out as Sean Crooks comes to pit road. Brian Burkhart now getting Brian Mansfield looking to the inside of Burkhardt. He looked to the outside briefly, now looking to the inside going into turn one. And this is where we've seen Mansfield take a lot of passes. He comes up off of turn two with so much speed, gets down to the inside, but Brian Burkhardt manages to hold him off for a bit. Mike Killenbeck way out there in front, still managing to maintain a lead. He's got 10 seconds over Brian Burkhardt right now. But he will have to stop one more time. Just taking a quick look. Yeah, he's been out there for 15 laps. He could not stretch it to lap 24. I don't think he could on fuel. And even if he could, he is losing so much time right now to the leaders that it would be almost pointless to try and stretch it. Skylar Massey says you just cannot teach that kind of talent. That was a unique pit road entry, Skylar. Congratulations on that one, bud. Brian Burkhardt still managing to hold off Brian Mansfield for the moment. And this is the battle for the win as Mike Killenbeck, while leading at the moment, will have to give that up to come to pit road at some point. Killenbeck's still staying out there. It looks like he is going to stretch this thing as far as he can. He's got a 7.5 second lead with 7 laps to go. If by some miracle he can stretch the fuel to 24 laps, he might sneak a win out here tonight, and that might be what he's trying to do. He may just be going for it. Derek Turner back in third place now. He lost a couple of positions on pit road. Mike Killenbeck finally comes to pit road, and that does give the lead back to Brian Burkhardt. Brian Mansfield now in second. Derek Turner is in third. He is 4.5 seconds back from the lead pack. Dakota Wilson currently running fourth. Matt Stewart running fifth. Jason Wiley is in sixth. Mason Neal back up in seventh. DJ Kenner now up to 8th, Drew Warren to 9th, and Eddie Baker to 10th. Jim Cook was really coming on strong earlier in the race, got up to the top 5, currently running just outside the top 10 in 11th. Anthony Stevens 12th, Chris Rawlings is 13th. Superman Norman Chan is 14th. Chris Shriver has worked his way up to 15th after making a good run on the first fuel run, but then getting into the wall and slipping back to 20th. He has a decent recovery so far. Eric Burkhalter is in 16th. Andrew Spears is 17th. Sean Crooks is 18th. 19th is Trevor Burge. 20th is Justin Glover. Tyler Robertson is 21st. Killenbeck will come out 22nd. Kevin Martin currently being scored in 23rd. 24th is Skylar Massey, who gets all the style points for his pit road entry tonight. And Brendan McLaughlin is in 25th. Graham Nucky and Corey Stansel never took the track. And Brian Mansfield has managed to get around and take the lead. Let's see how it happened just a couple of laps ago. Got the run off turn 4. He had been looking to the inside for about a lap and a half. Just got the momentum he needs off into turn 1. He continues to hold the low line. As soon as the spotter says clear, he starts drifting up a little bit. Still giving Burkhardt a little room, but finally has the lead secure. And after starting in 14th place with 3 laps to go, Brian Mansfield has the lead and is starting to check out. Brian Burkhardt is in second, but Derek Turner is starting to close down on him. And Dakota Wilson back there in fourth. Jason Wiley is currently running fifth. They're all spread out. There's not going to be a huge change in positions from this point on. Matt Stewart being in sixth. Drew Warren is seventh. DJ Kenner is eighth. I'm not seeing any other battles on track. Jim Cook is ninth. Anthony Stevens is 10th. And with just 2 laps to go, not any real significant battles going on track. I don't think we'll see any position changes. Brian Mansfield continues to pull away from second place and is putting cars a lap down now. But Brian moves up high. He's not going to battle with a lap car here. Lets him get back on the lead lap here. White flag waves for Brian Mansfield. Ducks in behind the lap car. That is the 5 of Sean Crooks, who's currently running in 16th. Lets him keep the lead lap. Doesn't have to push. His closest competitor is Brian Burkhart, 1.2 seconds back. Not within striking distance as they come down the back straightaway. Going through 3 and 4, it has been all Mansfield all night. No matter who's been up there leading, he's just been tracking them down. He finally gets the pass in the last 10 laps, gets to the lead, picks up 14 spots, and wins at Michigan. And second place ends up being Brian Burkhart, then Derek Turner, Dakota Wilson, Jason Wiley. Round out your top 5. Matt Stewart, Drew Warren, DJ Kenner, Jim Cook, and Anthony Stevens round out the top 10. And we will talk to Mr. Mansfield here in just a moment. After his celebration is complete. So the biggest mover tonight, obviously Brian Mansfield picking up 13 spots. Brian Burkhart picked up 6 spots after starting in 8th. Jim Cook started in 16th, finished 9th. Chris Rawlings started in 19th and finished in 11th. Chris Shriver had a great recovery. He started in 20th and managed to come home in 13th. And now Brian Mansfield's going to get back up there on track, hopefully, so they can continue to help him celebrate. Oh, there we go. That actually just helped him do a burnout better, and now we've got a blown engine. All right, let's see if we can talk to some guys here after the race. Hey, Brian, this is Doug. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, man. So you proved why you were the boss tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a good race. It started deep in the field and got a good run there at the beginning, picking up a lot of spots coming to the line. And, it's all the tire management. I knew it was probably going to go green to checkered and just save my tires and try to put pressure on the leaders when I got behind them and made them wear out their tires and just drove on.
Well, you definitely did that. And that last run, I mean, it looked like you were just playing with Burkhart there for a while, and he finally just had nothing left for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed racing with Brian and also with Derek earlier in the race, and he threw a couple blocks on me, and all in good fun. And like I said, tires wore out, and was able to drive by, and happy to pick up the win. And enjoy running these throwback cars. I'm running the blue throwback cars, are a tribute to my dad that back when he used to race. So happy to pick up the win, and also for the Combs Family Museum.
Well, awesome, man. Congratulations. And Brian Burkhart, you tried, man. You definitely tried to hold him off.
Yeah, I tried like hell there, Doug. Unfortunately, two tires just kind of failed me right there the last few laps, unfortunately. But that was the only way that I was going to get up to Brian. I put myself in a hole on one of the pit stops and just couldn't get myself back out it. That was the only way to do it. So gave it a whirl and tried to make it stick, but he was just a little too strong.
Well, you definitely you at least picked up a lot of positions out of that strategy, even though it didn't give you the win, and you gave him a heck of a run there.
A lot of fun. It really was. This is a neat track. I mean, it looks like it should be wide open and easy, and it's anything but. So really enjoy this place. We're the Xfinity cars always put on a pretty good show here. Hopefully that was a good one for the viewers, and seemed like it was a lot of action going on behind us. I know that.
That there was. Well, congratulations to you both. I know we'll see you guys in the pro late models here shortly.
Yeah, thanks again, Doug. Appreciate it. Thanks to Skylar Massey at Loud Raps to sponsoring the series. We were really looking forward to continuing. And next week we got a lot of fun going again. So we'll see everybody at the late model race and then tomorrow night again.
All right, man. Congratulations. Great racing, guys. All right, that is it for the Xfinity series, but don't go anywhere because we will be right back with the Pro Late Models from Williams Grove, and that promises to be a heck of a race. So go get your snacks and your drinks ready. Make sure you come right back and hit the share button while you're standing in line.